This company, at first it's weird. You see the logo at the top right of this is a entire A main replay. They didn't do the cheap route and just put up a highlight like we see Flow or Dirt Vision do. They gave you the full A main. This is actually listed on Night Thunder on Facebook. So go over there and follow them. Apparently they're putting out a lot of great stuff, especially from Perth. But what I really wanted to point out here was the eerily similar logo for 7Sport that almost looks like the Flow logo, although the 7Sport Australia is free for those who live there. If you're in the Americas, you have to do pay-per-view, kind of a blackout deal, which I don't get that. Probably a money grab. But the 7Sport is not. And it is just unbelievable, the production. There was no downtime. Anytime there was a downtime, there was somebody in the pits. There was somebody interviewing here. There was a flashback race that was highlighted. It was, I know I like to brag on Flow Racing Night in America as potentially the best, the late model shows from Flow as potentially the best dirt broadcasts that we have. Especially the ones they do around like the Eldora Million late model events where they have, you know, multiple people there, a backdrop, a table. And that is, in that element, better. But I don't know if I've seen a production as good as what I saw last night. I mean, it was next level as far as just fillers of time. The announcing was just 10 times better than what we got. It wasn't like a pure play-by-play. It wasn't like a pure hype guy or a pure color guy. It was a complete package of just perfection as far as production of an event goes. And I've worked in the production side, seen, analyzed, talked, thought what could be done, what couldn't be done, made things, made hype videos, made you know, once again, back to Bristol. I'm opening Bristol's race with some pretty badass stuff. And I think that, you know, they halfway are doing that. But what I saw here from beginning to end was just unbelievable. And then so big shout out to, before we move on, 7Sport, which is that little Flow looking alike logo, which I believe 7Sport was around way before Flow. And for the record, this was on live television in Australia. Like, people were telling me from over there, I talked to them, if they went to the gas station or you go to any stores or you go to anywhere you go, this is on and they're watching this race. Sprint car racing is NASCAR to these people. It's the highest form of circle track oval racing. So people respect the sport, they care about it, and they cover it with that aspect of respect and appreciation of the sport. I think that's something that is really dumbfoundedly missing in America. But because we subconsciously, these people are still underneath the Cole Trickle situation. They don't idolize it as well or as much as they should. And you could see it, I believe, right here. You could see Brock Zierfoss getting just a run and trying to go around the guy, and that guy didn't give a lane, but they did get the car back out onto the track in that incident. But you see this camera angle right here once again, and I believe this is where you can see this camera right here. You see me, we're going across the track, wide open, badass angles. Watch this thing. There it is. You see the little red dots? That is this camera right here doing this badass, amazing shot. Unreal. There it is right there. You see it on the screen. This little bitty thing right here. I'm not trying to point out my... Never mind. I'm going to be quiet before I get in trouble. That little thing is on an actual string. So just like the NFL games, just like the professionals of the world who do things correctly, Australia is just so far ahead. I mean, I know I'm going to... Like I said, I've already thrown the bank out the window, and I know I'm probably going to experience some politics over there I don't like, but sometimes politics are good. Like, to go and be a media guy and get into the pits like I plan to go over there and be, I have to get a license. You know, I have to be licensed as a person to be able to enter the pitting area. And the reason that is because they don't want, I heard, is because of insurance purposes, because with that license comes complimentary insurance. So if something happens to you in the pitting area, that license that you paid for comes with insurance to protect you, like the people involved. Whereas if you go to Eldora or some of these, Williams Grove especially, some of these littler pitting areas, Lincoln's, these big World of Outlaw events at smaller areas with smaller congested pitting areas, it's scary sometimes. There's some straight up dumbasses walking around at sprint car events in America. I mean, I know them. They're dumb. Some of them are drivers, but regardless, they're just so stupid and they don't have their head on a swivel. The biggest difference between a sprint car and a modified or late model, maybe some of y'all Fender people could learn from this, is the car doesn't necessarily have to be running for it to be moving. You know, so if you don't have your head on a swivel in a sprint car pitting area and you're just a dumbass patron, you could really actually seriously get hurt. And I think, judging by some of the stuff I've seen, there's no way we're going to keep escaping that forever. I mean, over here in the Americas, something's going to happen, or possibly already has. Probably has. I'm sure there's somebody in the comments, oh, yeah, this one time. Oh, yeah. You just don't hear about it. And I do believe that there is an element of just because one idiot done something stupid don't mean everyone should be punished. I do agree with that as well. But there also has to be, once again, the benefits of a government body being able to say this is okay and this is not, and here's why. Obviously, yesterday we were talking about the Port Arthur thing that happened, and once again, you could also make the argument in that situation with the gun laws that just because one psycho acts psycho doesn't mean you should take away everyone else's rights. This is true as well. Once again, back to common sense. I think reactionary decisions are not necessarily the right way. Back to extremism of both sides, like we talked about last night. It's just as dumb to say anyone could have a gun versus, oh, well, you can't have this gun because it's not for hunting. They're both stupid statements, but there's common sense in the middle. Once again, common sense doesn't make money, though. Common sense doesn't keep you distracted, as they both rip you for shreds in the tax department. But obviously, Australia has issues there, but they got to keep them in line, penal colony. But once again, there is a lot of things that they do right over there. And once again, this production part, because I'm big about growth of the sport, and I think the production of our events is what's keeping it behind, to be honest with you. The only thing I've seen that's on that level of bringing it to the modern person and saying, here's what we got, is that Flow Racing Night in America. You even see when the Outlaws do that television production show, the highlight hour, it's all post-edited. It's not live. It's very corny. I mean, that's the only way I could see it. It's very corny, and it's on CBS Sports Network, and you'd think somebody would have really spazzed it up. But this production put out is worthy of it. I could put what they put out here up against NASCAR, up against Formula One, and see, I think that is the benefit of the society that they are in. Their society over there is not living, their sprint car world is not living in the shadow of Cole Trickle and NASCAR. Their best drivers aren't aspiring to maybe grow up and be a NASCAR driver racing rowdies. They haven't been psychologically, like we are over here. We used to operate like them. I think that's why Joey Saldana's comments and a couple other people's comments was very important about how the World of Outlaws was directed back in the day until the World Racing Group took it over. But once again, they're based out of North Carolina, so why would you bark back at the people around you? Regardless, we don't need to talk about how the Illuminati of that interaction goes, but this was just mind-blowing me. And once again, the damn thing on a string was just crazy. But